Well, we've lived out here for about 6 months now, and I love rain and I love storms, and there's so much water out here, but it stresses me out now because we get flooded in. We get trapped in here. And I try not to let it stress me out. We have to park on the other side of the creek and then take our tractor, drive it across, which I'm just glad it hasn't stalled on the bridge yet. Because it came up almost to my son's knees, and he couldn't do anything about it. He had to put his feet on the pedals and push through. So he gets pretty wet when he goes across. But that's the only way that any of us can get out. Like, my daughter has a job she has to go to, and they rely on her, and she likes her job. So we park on the other side of the creek when we see rain coming. And right now the creek is probably about the highest we've seen it since we've been here. And we've been flooded in 3 or 4 times now, just in 6 months. But I think we're almost through the flooding season. But I actually really enjoy it because not only does it keep us in, which I don't mind, also keeps the world out. So it's very quiet. We have almost no traffic. There's pretty much only 3 people that live on this side of the creek. Unless you go way down there, there might be some more near the other end. But it's several miles long, and it's really rough the whole way. So if there is anybody down there, they're probably near the other end of it. And so it's really quiet. There is somebody that has a Jeep, and I think they live on the other end, but they own property on the other side of us. Not sure how far. And he drove through this a couple days ago, but it has since risen, and you can't drive through it now. The tractor barely makes it. Like, the tractor is safe because it's huge and heavy, but I would not trust any vehicle. It's just too deep. It's probably, I'm guessing, about 5 feet deep, maybe 4.5, over the bridge. So yeah, it's just too deep. But look at this. I mean, I love it. Let me see if I can flip the camera. The dogs are coming with me. We're going to the creek. We now have a second pond. This is also our property. Look at this. Our house there's the driveway, and it goes uphill. So our house is uphill, and we don't have to worry about that flooding. And this house has been here since 86, I believe. And yeah, so I mean, there probably are times when the water does get up here a little bit, but the house is far enough up that we shouldn't have to worry about it. But we have so many wet weather creeks around here. I'm not complaining, really. It's just, it gets a little stressful because we've had so much flooding already just this spring that it kind of feels like it's never going to end. But it will end, and then it's going to be hot and dry, and we probably will only have the big creek up here. But that'll be really nice to have in the hot weather. I'm having to walk through some of this water. Got my water shoes on. It's all good. But I was hoping to not have to. Really muddy too, so I have to be careful not to slip and fall. You can see all these rocks. I love rocks, but just like the water, I'm getting a little tired of all the rocks and all the water. But in saying that, I am also reminding myself how blessed we are out here. And I'm trying not to complain about them because they serve a good purpose, and I do love them. All the rocks and all the water. There's a little inlet here that goes through the woods to the creek there. But it's just having to deal with them on a daily basis can sometimes be a little rough. We had a handicap van. We don't have it now, but a wheelchair van for my mom. And oh my goodness, it sits lower and it scraped on every rock it could find. Had a skid plate. So as far as I know, it didn't ever do any damage up underneath because of the rocks. But man, it stressed me out so bad having to drive that thing. We're trying to find another one for her now. Well, it's definitely gone down since yesterday. It's still real high though. The dogs have learned their lesson. Every one of them has fallen in or been swept away, actually. At least once. Some of them a couple times. But they've also learned how to get across when it's this deep. They go downstream where the water's not rushing so fast. And then they swim across and they're fine. They're good swimmers. They just know not to try to cross here until it gets lower. But yeah, it's still pretty high. And the tractor is parked right about there on the road. Goodness. Can't even see the top of the bridge. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's pretty deep for the tractor. This is probably the deepest we've driven the tractor across. And I don't think I would feel I'd feel comfortable going any deeper or having my son go any deeper. I can't wait till it goes down a little bit and we can swim some.